Greetings, friends. It's Pat with another episode of Let's Talk Travel. We're absolutely delighted that you're out there. Greetings to our live listeners. And by the way, you will want to stay tuned. Remember, we have that drawing sometime during our broadcast for special prizes. We have a great giveaway this evening, so stay tuned for that. Just for our live listeners. And if you're catching us on an instant replay, we are so glad that you are out there as well. We always welcome you. And we know that the majority of our listeners do catch us after the live presentation. So we are thrilled that you are out there as well. I am so happy to introduce this evening Deb Sculley, who is our business development manager with one of our iconic providers, our favorites. And she is from Collette. And Deb, thank you so much for taking the time to join us this evening. Folks, will help us to welcome Deb from Collette. And Deb, we always like to start off just by having you introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us a little bit about your experience in the travel industry, how you got here and made your way to Collette.
Well, hey, Pat, thanks so much. And thanks for doing this program. It's a wonderful service for people that are looking to travel, and your advice and your stewardship of their dreams. You know, I always say, if you're not using a travel agent, a travel advisor, you're crazy, especially these days. We need you. And I know you've been doing this a long time, but so I haven't been doing this very long. I actually started in January of 20, right before the break of the pandemic, but I wish I had started a lot longer. You know, I always remember as a kid, you know, my teacher saying, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And it's true. I absolutely love what I'm doing. I love the company I work for. Prior to this, I was in sales. I was in television advertising, but I can tell you this is so much more fun and I get to travel the world.
Yeah, you know, Deb, I can so relate to that. And I try to encourage young people when I encounter them, what a great career they can have if they get their foot into the travel industry at a young age. I'm like you. I got, you know, I was, had worked years in law offices before I had an opportunity to move into travel. And it was great. I don't, but the travel industry is totally different. You know, it's an amazing career. Love it. Could you kind of give us a condensed overview? I know there's so much to tell, but could you give us a condensed overview of the Collette experience? And I know it's hard to narrow it down. Run down maybe of the history and various travel styles you offer.
I would love to. So yeah, I mentioned how much I love working for this company. I would have to say, you know, the number one thing I want people to know about Collette is how from the top down in this company, we truly care about our travelers. You know, since the beginning of the pandemic, we have refunded over $170 million in cash. We did that right out of the gate. And that's just speaks volumes about this company. Our travelers, our guests, your clients come first before anything else. We are 104 years old this year. We are a privately owned company based out of Pawtucket, Rhode Island. We're based right here in the good old United States. We have the most seasoned team in travel, you know, 104 years, oldest tour operator in America. And, you know, I think the people in our company are what make these tours so great. We have designers that spend a lot of time in these destinations. We have over 160 tours on all 7 continents. And, you know, we're a 4.5 star tour operator and very inclusive. So there's a lot of value there for your clients.
I absolutely love that. And I just want to say, folks, when you look at the financial responsibility, that has been a big concern these days out of after the pandemic. We discovered that many really prominent names in the travel industry were not being that well managed. A couple of them, big companies, went belly up because they had not been good stewards. And kudos to Collette for the way you have managed your company and treated your clients. during the hard times. Uh, there are literally dozens of, and maybe probably hundreds of travel providers out there that offer escorted travel. What is it that differentiates Collette among those tour providers? Are there some key differences that set you guys apart in the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to start with just sharing that we have 5 different travel styles. So we have something for everyone. Everybody wants to travel, a different way. So we have our classic tours that are up to 44 guests. We have our spotlight tours that are one city center hotel, unpack once and hub and spoke out and really explore an area. Our fastest growing travel style is our explorations brand tour style, and that is small group travel, anywhere from 12 to 24 guests for people that don't, they might not want to be traveling with that big group, want something smaller. It's more boutiquey, a little more culturally immersive. We also have river cruising and faith tours. So I would say one of the things that really set Collette apart in the space, in the guided space, would be how inclusive our tours are. We believe that when you're in a destination, there are certain things that are must sees, and those are included. Those are not options. On our France tours, on France Magnifique, we're having dinner in the Eiffel Tower. That is not an option, that is included. When we have choice on tour. So, your clients can actually choose how they want to see a destination. It might be something a little more physical, like ziplining in Costa Rica versus a nature walk. And I don't assume anymore about somebody's age and what they're going to choose, because we have a great video I'll share with you, not today, but I'll send it to you, of an 80-year-old lady. It's her 80th birthday, and she's out there ziplining. So, I mean, more power to her. She's out there doing it. And, that's what we all need to be doing, fulfilling our bucket lists.
Yep,
So it's really,
love
with
it.
Colette, it's really, peace of mind, right? We've got that experience. Um, it's very inclusive. There's that value proposition that's in there, and very unique properties. We're using, sometimes the properties that we're staying at become the highlight of the entire tour. On our Finland tour, we've got guests staying in glass igloos for more opportunity to see those beautiful northern lights. So things like
Wow.
that are just very unique.
Yeah, that is just so cool, and I love the inclusiveness because, folks, you frankly, you can book a tour at a lower price point than Colette. Yes, but then when you start looking at what's included, and you want to have those experiences, by the time you add in the options with them that Colette includes, you have priced yourself over the you've gone over what you could have had with included experiences by booking with Collette. And Deb, there's one thing that you guys include that I think our clients absolutely love, and that you have a certain service that you offer pre-departure. Uh, could, could you share that?
Yes, yeah, that's my wow right there. So, your clients, our travelers, absolutely love that when they book an air inclusive transportation package with us. That's their we don't just say air, because it's a complete transportation package. We're providing sedan service, picking them up from their home, taking them to the airport, and then back home again. And let me tell you, that just really sets the tone of your entire trip, your adventure. Because for me, that's probably the most stressful part, driving, where I live, to Fort Lauderdale or Miami. The traffic, the parking. It's just so nice to sit back and relax.
That is a wonderful service, and it really relieves the stress and so much aggravation. Somebody picks up your luggage, puts it in the trunk, and off you go, folks. You just that I mean, that is the way to travel for sure. Now, Deb is moving on for the month of December. The entire month, we are focused on 4 distinct different ways to explore Europe in 2023. And this evening, you are representing the escorted travel segment of the program. And why would you say that an escorted tour is the best way to experience European destinations?
Well, first of all, we're handling all of the details. So we have, again, these designers that are actually spending months at a time in these destinations. They are perfecting the pacing on tour. We have more 2 and 3 night stays, so it's very, it's not exhausting. Having to pack and unpack hotel one night. We do create this really beautiful pacing, but it is like a VIP experience. The attractions that you're seeing, you're like a VIP. You're not waiting in line. Everything's been organized, reserved for you. I was just in France and we went to the Louvre. There was a way long line outside. I almost felt kind of guilty. I feel like, oh my God, these people have been waiting all this time. We just pull up and here's our entire group going right to the front of the line. Same thing when we went to a cabaret show. So there's that VIP experience part of it. Also touring today is not like it used to be. I think sometimes people that are not familiar with guided touring, at least with Collette, we're very much about giving people an authentic experience of that local culture. And we do that through a lot of our culinary inclusions. So we're not eating at hotels with Collette. We're eating in fabulous local restaurants. We believe, and I think a lot of our travelers understand, to really immerse yourself in that local culture. Doing that through food is a wonderful way to just learn the local traditions. So, yeah.
I agree. It's absolutely, experiencing the local cuisine is a huge part, and having those authentic experiences, that's fabulous. Who is a target client, Deb, for a Collette tour? Are there any special characteristics that could help our viewers determine that they would be a prime candidate for touring with Collette?
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you our sweet spot is going to be mostly people that are retired that have time to travel. That said, we do have multi-generational families that travel together. We have some younger people. I'm taking my kids to Costa Rica in March, but for the most part, it's going to be, I would say, anywhere from 55 to, on up, somebody who's retired, but still, a little bit active, because a lot of our tours, there's going to be some walking. Not like we're out there doing major hikes or anything, but you do need to be mobile.
And your tours do specify up front. I'll mention this as we're going through the itineraries we want to feature, but you do tell people up front what the activity level they can expect is, so they can match that experience with their preferences and capacity.
Absolutely. It's really important too, because we don't want people to not be able to, keep up with the tour. And they're not, like I said, they're not, crazy active, and we're going to have different levels, as you point out. We just want to make sure it's a good fit for everybody. So we are very upfront with that.
Absolutely. Now, moving on to Europe, and Europe covers an array of countries and cultures. I selected some itineraries that I thought we could feature this evening. I picked out Shades of Ireland, Reflections of Italy, and one of my favorites, Taste of the Balkans. So can we just kind of take a quick look at those three itineraries? I've got some great images that I've pulled to display that we can just kind of show. Here is the Shades of Ireland itinerary, folks. Look at that. You're not going to miss anything that you need to see.
Listen, this is our number one selling tour for years, except, right after the pandemic last year, we were doing mostly domestic. But this tour, I'm so glad that you picked this tour. Shades of Ireland is one of our classic tours. It's a 10-day tour. It's pretty easy. It's an activity level of a 2, but there's still some walking, and it's Europe. So there's that uneven cobblestone stuff going on. But yeah, if you look at this itinerary, we're flying in and out of Dublin, 2 nights in Dublin, down to Kilkenny, visiting Waterford for a night, over to Blarney. We're going to the Blarney Castle, that the most iconic, beautiful drive, that Ring of Kerry there is just absolutely stunning. 2 nights in Killarney, we're visiting Cliffs of Moher, uh, 2 nights in Limerick with a visit over to Galway, up to for a visit to Kilbeggan, and King's Court staying in Cabra Castle that night. So really fabulous tour. We also have a lot of our tours will offer some pre and post tour extensions. I mean, I tell people, look, you're already over there. If you have the time, why not extend? So we're offering a pre-tour extension, 3 nights in London, and also we have a 3 night post tour in Edinburgh in Scotland. So, like if you have the time, we can just deviate the air, and usually our pre's and posts are a great value too.
I love that. And I tell people that, I have people contact me. They want to do these short 3 and 4 night. I'm like, look, you're going to pay for the airfare regardless. Why not add some time? You're going to be there. Make the time count and see what you need
Right.
to see while you have feet on the ground. The next one that I had, and I think this is one of your popular tours also,
Mm-hmm.
Reflections of Italy.
Reflections of Italy, also a classic tour. Again, that's up to 44 guests. This is a 10-day tour. It's a little bit probably more walking, more on even ground. So it's an activity level of a 3. But it is a beautiful tour. It's a journey that takes you from the piazzas of Rome to the canals of Venice, those rolling hills of Tuscany and the Umbrian countryside, visiting medieval towns in Assisi. We're going to historic wineries in the Chianti region. We even have a chef-led cooking class with lunch for everybody. And also we're seeing the masterpieces of the Renaissance in Florence. It's really got something for everyone. And of course, we have a visit to Murano Island on this, where we get to go see the famous Murano glass. So that's pretty special inclusion too. But we're flying into Rome for 2 nights. We're going up to Perugia, 2 nights in Florence, 2 nights in Venice, visiting Murano, and then out of Milan. Just an absolutely beautiful tour, stunning views and countryside.
I love that this hits all of the main points, but you throw in like Assisi and Milan, which some people don't get to include if they're traveling independently. A lot of times, they'll do Rome and Florence and maybe Venice. This actually covers some of those more out of the way and but charming and interesting places. As I love that itinerary and
Yeah.
so much to see.
And I
And
encourage your clients to talk to you about adding another night, maybe a post night in Milan, and that's something we can help with. We can add that night and divert their air, or even another pre night in Rome. This is a perfect tour to do a pre or a post night, or both.
yeah, absolutely. And if a lot of times people have a certain thing that they want to see that maybe isn't on the tour, and those pre and posts, you can get
Mhm.
those experiences that are unique to you as well. And I've thrown this itinerary in, Deb, just because I've been to Croatia twice in the past year and a half. Fell in love with this part of the
Mm.
globe. It just is, and it wasn't on my radar anywhere. I had not anticipated that reaction to this, but what an incredible place to visit here with this.
Absolutely. And I have not been yet, so I am jealous that you've been there. But Croatia it's so hot. Everybody's talking about and going to Croatia and this region, and it is pretty amazing. This particular tour, A Taste of the Balkans, is one of our explorations tours. So it's smaller group, which is really nice. And it's so culturally immersive. But it is a 16-day tour, so it's a little bit longer. But this is an area where we're covering a lot. Again, we're flying into Dubrovnik with 2 nights there, which everybody goes nuts
Yeah,
over
and this is
Dubrovnik, right?
Dubrovnik here on this image, folks. It is incredible.
2 nights in Kotor, up to Sarajevo. And just, lots of 2 and 3 nights. If there is a one night in between, it's mostly because we're trying to get to another place and breaking it up. But we are offering a 3 night extension on this. If you don't want to fly out as a grab
Okay.
on the last night, we have a 3 night Serbia extension in Belgrade. So again, if you have the time and you can spend a little more than the 2 weeks, definitely check out that extension. But this tour is, again, visually stunning. Rocky coastlines, there's mountains, history, medieval cities, those medieval walled cities. I love those. I absolutely love these historic towns. We are offering choice on tour. We offer at least one or two on every tour. And this one, we're giving folks the opportunity to either explore those Dubrovnik city walls or taking a cable car ride. We're traveling by boat to Montenegro's seaside village of Parast. Is that how you pronounce it?
You believe so? Yes.
Yeah, just a stunning, beautiful seaside town. We have a home hosted dinner at a Bosnian home on this tour.
Oh, those are always lovely. And with the
Our
smaller
guests
group
love that.
size, you can do that. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we've got tour managers, we have walk on guides. All of our tours are fully managed and just want everybody to have the best experience possible. So, and the other thing I wanted to mention too is we offer 24-hour prior to departure cancel for any reason insurance. So that's more peace of mind that we can give people if for some reason 24 hours before the day before they decide they don't want to go on the tour. We call it a bad hair day policy. They don't have to go and they're getting their investment back in the cost of the tour, however they paid for it.
That is amazing. That is unique because usually when you cancel a tour, after final payment, folks, this kind of insurance is priceless. Just don't leave home without it because things happen more often than you think. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that, but folks, you do need to travel insured, and that's just a fact of the world we live in today. We don't know what is going to happen. Now, Deb, do you have decent space available for 2023 in case we've inspired somebody to travel?
They should check with you. I will say 2023, everybody knows this revenge travel has been going on. Space is getting tight and some things are selling out. So really for those folks that still want to travel next year, they need to be booking that now.
Yes. And 2024, is it opening up?
Yeah. So 24, I'm booking 24 as well right now. So the thing about, I think the golden rule right now is just to, if you see something, that it's the old saying, if you see something, grab it, because by the time you go to try to get the date, it could be gone. The most popular tours are selling out first.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, which makes sense. And small groups, folks, are always very popular. So those tend to sell out as well. So if you want to plan for, 2023 is just days away. So
can you believe
now
it?
now is really the time. You used to say, oh, we'll plan last minute travel. You cannot do
Mm.
that anymore, folks. And that is an absolute fact. We're not creating urgency. We're just explaining to you that you need to book now. What about promotions or special incentives? Do you have anything going on right now, Deb?
I mean, we often do. Off the top of my head, I don't. We just came out of our Black Friday sale, so um, if people go on and on the website or talk to you, you can find specific tours that will have discounts. So go ahead and look for those. They'll be listed right on the site, whatever the savings is. Our next, we will probably have another promotion January, February.
Well, what I am going to do for our listeners, if you book any Collette tour before the end of the year, by December 31st, midnight on December 31st, I am going to provide a Dancing Moon travel special, one of our travel bags filled with travel essentials, including a great pair of travel binoculars, highly rated
Wow.
binoculars, so you don't miss a single thing. So we'll have lots of goodies in there, some packing cubes and travel binoculars. So folks, that's from Dancing Moon Travel. If you book anything with Collette by the end of the year, I think I'm mindful of the clock, Deb, but I know things are changing rapidly these days on the travel front for protocols for travel. What's Collette requiring these days for travelers to take a Collette journey?
Well, as you said, things change a lot and they do change on a daily basis. The good news is the changes are all for the good right now. So currently, our vaccination policy, Colette's instituted vaccination policy, expires in April of 2023. And really, I mean, trying to get on a tour right now, January through March, is a little tough. But if you find one, and it's international, you do need to be vaccinated through April of 23. And then from there on, we're taking it on a day by day basis. Hopefully we won't have to institute that again.
Okay, so just in time for European travel season, which kind of opens up beginning in April. It runs through the fall. So that is great news on the travel front. Just to end us up here, Deb, can you summarize? Just give us 3 reasons why our viewers should consider booking an escorted tour with Collette for their next vacation getaway.
Yes, I would say number 1 is experience. I think I can easily say we are the most experienced company in guided travel, 104 years. We've been doing this a long time. We actually just went through our second pandemic, the first one being, what was it, 1815 or something, or I'm sorry, 1918 or something like that. Peace of mind, integrity. I shared with you how we refunded over $170 million. If that alone doesn't show people that we are for them, we are on their side, I don't know what would. But the cancel for any reason insurance makes it another way to just, easily have confidence in booking with Collette. And then again, our breadth of product, over 160 tours on all 7 continents. I would almost want to say if you can find some place that we don't go to, it might, you might not want to go there, but there are a couple places that we just, they're not as hot anymore that we don't do. But for the most part, I've rarely had an experience where someone wanted something we couldn't deliver on. So
that is fabulous. Thank you so much, Deb. I appreciate it. I know you are just so busy, and I appreciate all you've shared about Collette. I love what all you guys provide. The experience is unequaled. And I really appreciate our listeners. Thank you again for tuning in. We know your time is valuable, and so we always appreciate your taking the time to tune in. And I have a giveaway. As always, we do have something we're going to give away, and tonight it's going to be these very popular packing cubes. So when you travel, you can travel light. This will keep you organized. You know what you have and how to find it. And so these will come in handy on your Collette tour for sure. So folks, just right now, I just want you to type Collette, Collette, in the comment section, and that will enter you in our drawing for live listeners only this evening, just for live listeners. We don't do this for you if you're catching us after the fact. So Deb, thank you again. And thank you folks for tuning in. And we hope to see you for another episode of Let's Talk Travel very soon. Bye now.
Happy travels.